How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I haven't been doing any videos for a while, but y'all know I've been around. And what I really been doing, my royal family, is something that I often tell the royal family to do, is pray and meditate and listen to the universe. Well, the last video that I did on Retrograde, I was showing the calendar to the royal family. And I was showing the royal family that we have what you call pre-retrograde, which you see here in green, that started in February. Then we have retrograde, which hits direct, which is right here that you see right here in March. And then you have posts. And when I did that last video, I said I don't go by get all excited where they say right here, well, according to the enemy's calendar, retrograde is over with. I've been trained too well by my father that the intensity of Mercury as it's in its post phase that is backing down, but it is still intense. Now, I have been saying online and offline to anybody that would listen to me that something big was going to happen. And I can't predict what's going to happen. And sometimes Yah does speak directly to me, and I'll tell y'all a zillion times what Yah has told me. But nothing was being told to me. So I'm just like anyone else. So, during the retrograde phase, I'm paying attention to a lot of different things. And I said, I got to pull back. Plus, on top of that, I wasn't really motivated to do any videos because I was focused on, okay, these days is tapering out. And that one big thing that, unquote, supposed to happen, I don't quite see it. But we did see some things that were quite impactful and powerful and sweet. Oh yes, was it sweet to me? It was sweet and juicy. So on Lisa's channel, she went over the first 90 days of the year, and I kept saying, Lisa, I said to her too, repeating myself like I always do, something big gonna happen. So yesterday, I woke up, and I'm always watching CNN News, and this is what I see. I see a fire, and it says Notre Dame. And I said, oh, this is going to be big. This is going to be epic, and this is going to be big. And this came out of nowhere, because when you start looking at the titles and they're trying to figure out what is really going on, because now people are in shock seeing this this very old church, which is based on my research a little over 800 years old, and the roof has completely collapsed, and this what they call this, the steel, the steeple collapsed. Okay, and those things happen. And I was like, wow. Well, it made me want to go back and refresh my memory, and Lisa let me know that the Moors built this church. I'm not surprised at all. We pretty much then built the world. So then I'm asking Yah, well, what is the message? Well, there's a lot of things going on. It's disgusting. The child abuse, or the sexual child abuse that goes on in the Catholic Church, and they think they can just pay people off and that'll clear up the damages. But I've often said damage is done. Once you have executed the act, you have damaged that child and possible adult, so your money doesn't mean anything. And then I thought about often when I talk about the age of exposure, and I'm like, wow, there's some heavy shit going on in Esau's world that they have to acknowledge. They have to acknowledge eventually. Now, the nature of the enemy is to deflect and play dumb, but the divine hand is giving the world a message, especially Esau. Yes, especially Esau. And I was thinking about how they gonna deal with all of this. We're gonna get the sympathy of the world, and then we're gonna get the money grab. And let's keep in mind, my royal family, that the church has insurance. And when I was first watching this fire, my construction knowledge didn't kick in, because I'm looking at a scaffold behind it, but I'm saying, why is the scaffold not burning? Because in some structures, they'll leave the scaffolding up. So I'm thinking this structure, the scaffolding was left up, not realizing that back then they didn't have metal scaffolds, they had wooden ones. So when everything was kicking in my frontal lobe and stuff, then the construction knowledge that kicked in based on me and my husband having our talk. And I said, oh Lord, this could possibly be due to something related to construction. And that's why it took so long to put out. And that's my expertise, because I'm a welder. I know about fires. I know how to start fires. And when I really paid attention to it, they didn't have things set in place. They didn't even think about this shit. That's the terrible thing about it. That's why it took so long to put it out, because they were overextended. And just to let y'all know that they needed someone on the low and someone directly on the top, and they could not fully get directly on the top. Now, if it's due to construction, and most likely it is, maybe something was smoldering. And I can tell you about construction workers. They go work on stuff, smoke a cigarette, drop it. That thing can smolder for weeks. Or it could have been something related to welding, where something was not put out properly, or something related to cutting, where the oxygens in the acetylene tanks were not closed down, but there was no explosion, because those tanks would have exploded and we would have known it. So we leave that out. We'll find out eventually, or we may not find out at all. And it frightens the enemy when they don't have an answer, an immediate answer to why these things happen. And when I was brought into the spirit world 3 years ago, it was showed to me there is no accidents, my royal family, at all. No accidents at all. And it's not an accident that this happened. Don't forget the 400 years. Don't forget the 6,000 years. And don't overlook the precision of the Most High. And throughout the globe, the ugliness. Now in Paris, they're treating our folks over there like shit too. I mean, wherever we are on the planet, the chosen ones are treated horribly. And that will be dealt with. And it hurts our Father to see his children be disrespected in the worst fashion. So just bear with me, my royal family, as I speak, because I may be rambling. Then I thought about the numerous churches that have been burnt down, black, I'm being very specific, that have been burnt down in America. And it ain't no big ass deal. It's like we're just supposed to accept this. I mean, there's so many messages. And look at the intensity of this. See, when they were showing the fire, they would just like show you, they would show you what they want to show you. You know what I'm saying? And they would just like show that front and a little bit go in the back. But when you get a view of the top, you see how devastating it is. Quite devastating. And then when you see the color of it, and let me teach you about the color of fires. If you see a fire that's kind of bluish, that's cold. But when you see it orange to white, that is as hot as it can get. So all these things are just swirling around in my psyche. And then I go back to retrograde. Now, today is the 16th. And today, retrograde, this is the last day of retrograde. And this is one of the longest ones, almost 4 weeks when it hit direct. But now do y'all see what I'm saying? How I deal with retrograde and how I respect the universe? That going on the enemy's calendar, because this is what we go by right now, that you have to respect the whole process. I told the royal family, expect chaos and disorder, communication issues, and all of that came into play and stuff, and how it even affected your immediate situation. I know it affected mine. Some people it don't affect at all. But we must trust those internal voices within. Because I have said, talk to the universe, talk to the planets. That's all our stuff. That's all our stuff. That's all our stuff. And we know that the enemy is going to continue to ignore the messages that the Most High put out, and touch them. So, like I said, they go into another mode, and they already in that mode. Money, greed, and not really pulling back and saying, you know what it is, my royal family? Karma. That's something that I noticed that the enemy don't acknowledge or respect. Karma. We know about karma. We know about pain. And we don't like it. And they just won't address it and take heed of it. This is nothing more than a door sample. But you see how the Most High will touch upon something that means something to them. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you get a look at this, you see how small Esau really is. You see why it took over 6 hours to put that fire out. And they still putting water on it because they don't want no flares up. When you see this, what we call a man lift, and that little bitty water shooting out, that's like us putting a fire out in our house with a damn cup of water. That's the intensity that y'all see on this. And it lets you know how small Esau is. Now, they look like they was trying to do a little bit better here. They probably had to have the big boys come out on this and stuff. But that was that big thing that I said that was going to happen, amongst the other things that was the icing on the cake. This is the big thing in Esau's world, all right, in their world. And this is some pictures of the inside of the Vatican, and everything. So I don't want to think y'all have lost me, my royal family. Sometimes I pull back, and I got to really pay attention to the universe too as well, so I can get the messages and get a better understanding whatever is going on in the world. Don't ever worry about saying, oh, True Royal, and stop doing videos. No, I have not. I'm just as human as anyone else. And sometimes when you're doing these videos, you can sort of lose sight of what's going on. So sometimes it's good to reflect and look back. But where my energy was is retrograde. I put this up for y'all. Retrograde is coming to an end. Now is the time to pick up the pieces. But isn't that ironic that that would go to the enemy? It's time for them to pick up the pieces. And more of this will happen. We're going to see what the next 90 days look like. Now, when we go over here, based on the enemy's calendar, it says in 82 days, 10 hours, 35 minutes, and 57 seconds, we will be dealing with retrograde again. And y'all know I'll cover it. So you see the month of May and almost all of June. We don't have to deal with that and stuff. And there's nothing to fear. It's just being in tune with the universe, my royal family. That's all it is. Because there was one time we were very in tune with this. And remember, some of the first things, pay attention to some of the first things that the enemy took from us. So, my royal family, I really want to hear what y'all have to say about this fire. And speak on anything else that you want to speak on. I'm not trying to say this is what you have to speak on, but I'm one of those people that do read the comments, and I enjoy it. And so before I close out, I want to thank the followers of Candace Owens. That last video that I put up, that was a good money maker for me. And all that shit that y'all saying about me being a Republican, not a Republican, a part of the Democratic Party, supporting the Democratic Party, or a liberal, you don't know this channel. You don't know nothing about this channel. And I'm very direct when I speak. When I say I'm going to be messy, when I say I'm going to be greasy, I'm going to be that. And I don't give a fuck what anybody say. Candace look real fucked up. She on the world stage supposed to represent y'all, and the girl looking busted from head to toe. And that's what I choose to do. But you don't know nothing about me. Demanding for me to show my face. Ain't that funny? And I said, these some new people. You don't know nothing about me. You don't, you demanded for me to show my face? Ain't that something? Now I'm talking directly to my subscribers who know what my face look like. I don't front over here. I'm not gonna always say things to people's liking at all. But I know bullshit when I can smell bullshit, and y'all keep letting these coons lead you, lead your life and lead you off a motherfucking cliff. See, over here on the True Royal Family, I tell people to do their own thinking, because I know I have to do my own thinking. We all the messiahs. We all have a leadership position. We're all the kings and queens. So it ain't no one over here. So I strongly suggest that y'all take y'all up in your feelings ass and get up off my channel and go follow Candace ass and go kiss on her ass. Because you don't know nothing about this channel. You don't know nothing about how intense that I can get, how spiritual I can get. I don't play. See, I speak core. I don't always say things right. I don't always execute things right. And sometimes I do. And the reason why I'm able to do these things is because of the guidance and the support of the royal family. See, we support everybody over here. We not the one. You're going to have to deal with the all. So I just wanted to get that off me, my royal family. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.